Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Who is the real son of destiny? Chen Beiyuan looked with dark eyes at the luck destiny above his head that was shrouded in the aura of chaos. He remained silent, as if he had already made a guess and decision. The water in this world is deeper than I thought. Things like Son of Fortune can be artificially fabricated. The real Son of Fortune has been suppressed by destiny. The ability of the person behind the scenes is really beyond expectations. However, the people behind the scenes obviously have a lot of restrictions. Otherwise, they would not have used castle in the air methods to build a false Son of Fortune fate for Lin Xiao. Wouldn't it be faster to plunder directly? If I guess correctly, in the original work, after Lin Xiao killed me, the destined villain, with the blessing of various destiny, I am afraid that he will not survive for a few days, and the person behind the scenes will show up. All he needs to do is a single blow can break the lucky fate arrangement of castle in the sky, causing Lin Xiao to die in an instant and reap the final fruits. As for who is behind the scenes, Chen Beiyuan already had a rough idea in his mind. When Lin Xiao was young, he entered the inheritance place of an ancient power and obtained the Wordless Medical Sutra and the Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Sutra. In the end, he relied on the two Goldfinger techniques to rise. Now it seems that there is something very wrong with that ancient power, and he may even be the mastermind behind the scenes. To be hailed as an ancient power, and to be able to easily produce a medical classic and a 9th grade technique, this person's true cultivation level must be above 8th grade. I thought my cultivation speed was already very fast, but now it seems that it is still too slow. Gotta speed up a little. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were deep, and he stared straight into the distance. Even though he knew the hidden darkness and secrets, he still didn't feel depressed or decadent at all. Instead, he felt that the demon blood in his body began to boil a little bit. Fighting with the sky, fighting with the earth, fighting with people, the fun is endless. A real devil has such an unruly character. I thought that Lin Xiao was not enough for him, but now with a mastermind hiding behind the scenes, it was just right. It just depends on who has the best method in the end. Just when Chen Beiyuan was filled with emotion, a small figure swayed not far behind him. Yuan. The little silly dragon Anu held a bloodbat head in one hand and a void token in the other, and walked slowly behind Chen Beiyuan. Advertisement. I saw her holding Bloodbat Yaga's void token in her hand and poking Chen Beiyuan's, but raising her little head with an expression on her face that she was happy to praise me. Chen Beiyuan lowered his head and looked at the proud little silly dragon Anu in front of him. His eyes paused on her hands, stretched out his hand to rub her little head, and pinched the two balls with a smile on his face. Somewhat mild. Don't play with those disgusting things. There is no shortage of such things for dogs at home. A mere bloodbat Yaka, 7th on the void ranking, Chen Beiyuan obviously didn't take him seriously. Regardless of whether he took action on himself because of luck's intervention, once he took action, his life was no longer his. In his eyes, this kind of thing is just qualified to twist off its head and feed it to dogs. The little silly dragon Anu nodded with a look of enjoyment, then threw the bloodbat head behind his hand and hit it on the boulder. It exploded instantly and turned into a ball of blood, mud, flesh, and bones. Okay, give me the void order. Just when Chen Beiyuan stretched out his hand to take the void command from the bloodbat Yaga, Anu, who looked obedient, dodged and quickly caught Chen Beiyuan like a nimble creature. Beiyuan's thighs rotated and climbed, and instantly climbed to the top of his head. Like the Monkey King, who had reached the top, he let out an excited howl. Nai. Slave, want a drink? Nai. As he grows up, the once silly dragon begins to show his wise side. He even learned to negotiate. In the end, after intense discussions with Chen Beiyuan, he finally purchased the void order of Bloodbat Aga with 2.5 bottles of animal milk. With the fusion of the two void tokens, the number of Chen Beiyuan's void tokens directly changed from 197 to an astonishing 305. Volcanic Canyon. As Jiang Yunhua's terrifying blow fell, The now extinct volcano was completely detonated. Countless lava splashed, the temperature rose sharply, and the air was filled with the smell of sulfur and other toxic gases, making it look like a natural disaster was coming. However, Jiang Yunhua stood there stupidly, paying no attention to everything around him. And the scene where Chen Beiyuan chased the terrifying poisonous dragon just now kept popping up in his mind. On his shoulder, there seemed to be a cute little girl riding on his shoulder, screaming. The scene full of warmth between father and daughter left a very deep impression on her. No. Advertisement. How old is Beiyuan? How can such a big child come from? Jiang Yunhua froze on the spot. His face seemed a little lost. I have to say that sometimes the IQ of a woman in love is really negative. Maybe she will react later, but let's forget it for now. If the fighting energy in her body hadn't been exhausted at this moment and she was in a weak state, plus Chen Beiyuan and the two chased them somewhere, she would have killed her long ago. Which B** H is this? She hasn't even sat down yet. A shattered ruined temple. Bai Ruowei hugged the snow-white fox, followed by the four big licking dogs: boiling bear, little black tiger, two-headed turtle, and blue leopard cat. When they were looking for opportunities, they came here unexpectedly. A broken stone tablet in the ruined temple here instantly caught Bai Ruowei's attention. There are a lot of strange words engraved on the stone tablets, which are obviously words used by some kind of alien ethnic group. It is natural to imagine how difficult it is to decipher them. However, this is not a problem for Bai Ruowei. She possesses Bai's talent and can understand all things. Even if she does not understand the content of these words, the words on the stone tablet will tell her through some channel. I have to say that this is almost a bug-like battle spirit talent. Bai Ruowei closed her eyes, listened carefully to the sound of the words on the stone tablet, and murmured to herself, "The great Lord of the temple created this world and took in us abandoned people. The evil enemy has invaded. For the sake of our homeland, we must fight to the death. Fight to the death?" The Lord of the temple fell, leaving the Void Temple, waiting for the successor. The Temple of the Void is actually selecting a new heir? No wonder the Void Temple always appears suddenly and invites myriad races to participate in the Void's secret realm. Then, it suddenly and mysteriously disappears. However, the rumors from the outside world are actually true. The Void Temple is really a 9th-grade magic weapon. Bai Ruowei slowly opened her eyes. A hint of surprise flashed through her charming eyes and murmured to herself. Although the words left on the stone tablet were intermittent and incomplete, they still let her know some of the secrets of the Void Temple. Among them, the Temple of the Void is a 9th-grade divine weapon. The owner of the temple likes to take in homeless and abandoned orphans of all races. The Void Temple was unexpectedly invaded and suffered a devastating blow. The master of the temple and his followers fell. The Temple of the Void is looking for a new heir. These are things that outsiders have never known. I'm afraid even the person who left this abandoned temple stone tablet could never have imagined that there would be an outsider human race who had awakened the fighting spirit of auspicious beast by Zhe and actually deciphered the content on it. What surprised Bai Ruowei even more was that there was a special star body tempering picture left on this stone tablet. You can use the power of the stars to hammer the flesh-refining body, giving it various powers. When practiced to the extreme, it can condense the immortal body of stars, transforming into the vast stars traveling around the world. And this star body tempering picture was passed down by the owner of the Void Temple, and its grade is as high as 8th grade. Such a terrifying body refining technique is regarded as top secret even by the top forces, and is regarded as a treasure. It is probably difficult for non-core executives to have access to it. But who would have thought that such a precious 8th grade technique would be hidden in such a dilapidated, ruined stone tablet? If she hadn't possessed the Bai Zhe fighting spirit, it would have been difficult to decipher the secrets and obtain this great opportunity. Bai Ruowei's complicated eyes slowly stopped at a strange golden text in the corner of star body tempering picture. She touched it gently with her white jade fingertips and murmured to herself, "Su Ming." This was the former name of the owner of this void temple. However, she is dead. Just when Bai Ruowei was immersed in the star body tempering picture, she began to understand the mystery of it. Suddenly, she frowned slightly, as if she noticed something, and slowly turned around to look at the figure in a green shirt who suddenly appeared behind her. Advertisement. The snow-white fox in his arms also raised his head after seeing the person coming. His hair was all over his body, and his eyes became fierce. The four licking dogs behind him changed from their previous licking dog appearance and instantly became ferocious and bloodthirsty, staring at the intruder who suddenly appeared in front of them. The intruder was dressed in a green shirt with 3,000 blue hairs hanging down. His face was charming, and his eyes seemed to have thousands of charms, which were alluring. Even the loose clothes cannot conceal his proud mind. A strange, charming affinity emanated from her body. In the face of this charming affinity, even the ferocious and violent eyes of the four licking dog beasts gradually became clearer and softer. Even the hair that exploded on the snow-white fox's body gradually softened. This is a special affinity that is very similar to Bai Ruowei, but completely different. Tu Shan Su Su? Bai Ruowei raised her brows slightly, with a somewhat inquiring look in her eyes. She looked at the figure in green clothes who suddenly appeared in front of her and spoke slowly. Obviously, she also recognized the true identity of the person coming. Saintus, the contemporary fox clan of the Qingqiu fox clan. His cultivation has reached the peak of rank 6 ferocious beasts. In this void secret realm, Tushan Su Su is recognized as one of the strongest. His popularity is so terrifying that it even surpasses Ao Lai from Wanlong Island. Some people believe that among the ferocious beasts that entered the void secret realm this time, Tushan Su Su may be the strongest being. The reason why she is only ranked 4th on the void list is because she has a calm mind and does not take action easily. Even when she is in a good mood, she will take the initiative to let go of the prodigy of various races who appear in front of her. Even Bai Ruowei has received a lot of benefits and opportunities from the void secret realm in the past few days, and her strength has soared. When she saw Tushan Su Su in front of her, she felt an unspeakable sense of oppression and threat. Bai Ruowei had met Ao Lai from Wanlong Island, but the threat Ao Lai posed to her was far less serious than the Tushan Su Su in front of her. But why did the other party suddenly appear here? Suddenly, Bai Ruowei was surprised to find that Tushan Su Su had been looking at the broken stone tablet behind her, etc. Could it be that the other party was attracted by the stone tablet? The scene fell into a silent confrontation for an instant. Advertisement. After a long time, Tushan Su Su slowly looked away from the stone tablet, looked at the wary Bai Ruowei in front of him with complicated eyes, and spoke slowly, with an empty tone and without any emotion. Are you Chen Beiyuan's fiancé? Go back and tell Chen Beiyuan that I, Tushan Su Su, will have to settle the debts owed by the Chen family to him sooner or later and ask him to wait for me. After saying that, Tushan Su Su walked away gracefully, ignoring Bai Ruowei who looked strange behind him. It seems that she came just to take a look at the broken stone tablet and let Bai Ruowei give a message. What's going on? Could it be that Beiyuan offended the Qingqiu Fox clan? That's wrong. Beiyuan is still young, and I haven't heard of her going to the Qingqiu Fox clan. Could it be that a certain Chen family member brought Qingqiu to the Fox clan? The Fox clan has been offended, but what should she do to Beiyuan if someone else does something wrong? Bai Ruowei frowned, obviously confused by Tushan Su Su's words. Every injustice has its owner, and every debt has its owner. If you don't go to the creditor, why would you go to her Beiyuan? Her Beiyuan is so good, so cute, so obedient. Isn't this bullying an honest person? Bai Ruowei stood there, thinking hard for a long time, but still couldn't figure out the reason. Forget it, let's wait until we meet Beiyuan and ask him. Seeing that her thinking was fruitless, Bai Ruowei prepared to leave and continue to look for other opportunities. Of course, when she left, she did not choose to smash the broken stone tablet that recorded the star body tempering diagram. Since this place is the opportunity of the secret realm of the void, if someone can find this place, understand the words in it, and see the star body tempering picture, It is naturally destined. So why should she be that evil person? Since he can awaken the fighting spirit of an auspicious beast like Bai Zhe, Bai Ruowei will naturally not be a narrow-minded person. Just after the two left, an illusory figure filled with strange divine light and whose face could not be seen suddenly appeared in the ruins of the dilapidated temple. She glanced at the direction Bai Ruowei left, nodded slowly, and then looked at the direction Tushan Su left. Her eyes seemed to be a little confused. At the same time, a major piece of news quickly spread throughout the secret realm, causing an uproar in an instant. The Bloodbat Yaga, who was 7th on the void list, actually died. What's even more exciting is that the person who killed him was actually Chen Beiyuan, who ranked 2nd on the void ranking. A little girl drinking milk next to him? According to eyewitnesses, when the little girl unscrewed Yaga's head, she still had a milk bottle in her mouth. Public prodigy? Number 7 on the void ranking, the heir to the Klein family, Bloodbat Aga, actually died at the hands of a little girl who drank milk. Aha! Are you sure you're not making an international joke? A strong man from the human race who was strong enough to rank in the first rank of prodigy among all races in the void secret realm had a little girl with a milk bottle in her mouth twist her head and kill her directly? This news is indeed a bit far-fetched. The level of outrageousness is comparable to that of a primary school football team that defeated countless powerful opponents with absolute superiority, entered the World Cup, and won the championship. However, if you say that Chen Beiyuan, who is 2nd on the void ranking, ripped off the head of the Bloodbat Aya, who is 7th on the void ranking, everyone will not be able to accept it. But if you say it's a little girl, impossible. Absolutely impossible. I don't believe it. Although that be asterisk 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 D Bloodbat Yaga has a bad personality, his strength is real, and he also has many life-saving means. Even the top 5 monsters on the void ranking have to be defeated if they want to kill him. With a lot of effort, there is even a possibility of escape. Rumors. This must be a rumor. Even if the Bloodbat Yaga is really dead, he should die in the hands of Chen Beiyuan, not in the hands of a baby drinking milk. Otherwise, 90% of all races in the entire void secret realm will die. I'm afraid Prodigy can't beat a baby drinking milk. Although it is a bit outrageous, it is indeed true. The ghost demon who was number 18 on the void list happened to be at the scene and witnessed it with his own eyes. Zhishuan Haofu, who was number 25 on the void list, was also present at the time. It is said that people were so frightened that they peed. With the appearance of witnesses, one after another, they came forward to confirm. All doubts disappeared instantly. Prodigy from all races in the entire void secret realm fell into deathly silence. But at this time, some gossip began to spread quietly. It's really scary that an 8-year-old human race girl has such terrifying powers. Who said she is from human race? I heard that the little girl is the product of the combination of Chen Beiyuan and a powerful beast in disguise. She is so powerful at such a young age because of the talents of both of them. I saw with my own eyes that the little girl was riding on Chen Beiyuan's head. The two were as close as father and daughter. But Chen Beiyuan is only 18. How can he have an 8-year-old child? What do you know? I heard that Chen Beiyuan has been very talented since he was a child. He can be picked at the age of 7. Zundu fake do? Advertisement. When it comes to eating melons, even prodigies of all ethnic groups are unavoidable, especially when there are still people secretly fueling the situation. This kind of thing quickly spread throughout the void secret realm. Black Beast Mountain. The little girl drinking milk next to Beiyuan is his biological flesh and blood? When Bai Ruowei, who was practicing star body tempering picture, heard this rumor, she felt like she was struck by lightning and almost went crazy on the spot. According to the age of the little girl, who is 8 years old, wouldn't it mean that Xiao Beiyuan was taken over by someone when she was 10 years old? What a damn be asterisk asterisk ch. 6 years ago, she didn't even have the heart to take action, yet someone actually took action before her. Did you even cure the child? Just when Bai Ruowei almost turned black. Deep in the soul, a snow-white, noble and peaceful beast with the head of a tiger and the body of a dragon, and long horns slowly opened its eyes. A touch of gentle and peaceful power instantly calmed her anger, restored her rationality, and she instantly realized something was wrong. By Zay warns, the rumors are false. Someone is behind the scenes and wants to drive a wedge between me and Beiyuan. Bai Ruowei's face changed slightly, and she immediately wanted to use Bai Zay's divine ability to deduce the identity of the person behind the scenes, but was blocked by a force from somewhere. Volcanic Canyon. Zhang Yunhua, who was bathing in the depths of the lava and was absorbing the lava core to break through, trembled with his closed eyes, as if he had heard the rumors of the discussion of the prodigy of the human race passing by above the volcano, and his stunning face showed a look of emotion emerged. At this moment, the five-color feather in her arms emitted a five-color divine light, which instantly soothed her messy thoughts. Interesting, there are people who are secretly adding fuel to the fire and trying to stir up trouble. The Chen family has strict laws. As the young master of the Chen family, Chen Beiyuan will never release his yang essence at a young age. It will definitely have an impact on his path. However, although the rumors are false, it is probably true that the void token of Bloodbat Yaga fell into the hands of Chen Beiyuan. Now the number of his void tokens may have exceeded 300, which is a bit troublesome. Zhang Yunfan frowned slightly, his eyes flashed slightly, he expressionlessly crushed the head of a powerful alien in his hand, and murmured to himself, "Advertisement." With the Bloodbat Yaka's void token, Chen Beiyuan's number of void tokens may have surpassed Zhang Yunfan's, almost locking the #1 spot on the void ranking. If we can win his void order, then I will be #1 on the void ranking. A flash of excitement and heat flashed across Ao Lai's proud face. This news was undoubtedly an unexpected surprise for him. Child. When Tushan Su, who was dressed in a green shirt and had 3,000 blue hair and an indifferent nature, heard this rumor, he instantly guessed that it must be false. But even so, at the moment he knew it, his fist couldn't help but harden. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan, who is the protagonist of the rumor, is carrying Anu and walking towards the depths of the 10,000 Beasts forest. The two sacred trees hidden in the 10,000 Beasts forest were about to bear fruit, and he was ready to harvest them. Moreover, when the time comes, he will be able to usher in a breakthrough in strength. Naturally, he had heard a thing or two about the rumors from the outside world, but he just laughed it off. Chen Beiyuan knew very well that this was a certain son of fortune who was behind this. I have grown up a lot, and I have begun to know how to use the power of rumors to drive a wedge between me and Ruowei, Yunhua, and them, in order to weaken my power. However, you still underestimate my relationship with them. Stumbled. Even if Anu is really my daughter, they will eventually forgive me. Chen Beiyuan smiled lightly. It is undeniable that Lin Zhao's move perfectly took advantage of the woman's jealousy and wanted to take advantage of him. It's a pity that he underestimated their love for him. In the original work, Chen Beiyuan unexpectedly had a child with the fourth lucky heroine. After Bai Ruowei, Zhang Yunhua and others learned about it, they finally chose to accept it silently. Bai Ruowei even offered to wait for the child to be born, take her last name, and let her take care of it. She would treat it as her own flesh and blood. I have to say that Bai Ruowei really loves him to the core. I'm not feeling well today, and I feel a little hazy. It's only now that I feel better. Suck. 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 As another protagonist in the rumors, the little silly dragon Anu was not affected at all. He still sucked the bottle hard and kept to himself. His two short legs were dangling on Chen Beiyuan's chest, looking carefree and untroubled. Suddenly, Chen Beiyuan seemed to have some bad taste. He patted the short legs of the little silly dragon Anu, raised his head, looked at Anu who was sucking the bottle, and said with a gentle face, "Anu, my name is Baba." Snapped. Anu sucked the bottle for a moment, his eyes widened, as if before he could react. Ruthless big mouth slapped Ayuan in the face, instantly causing a cry of pain. A slap from a child is very painful. After all, they often cannot control their own strength. Even Chen Beiyuan felt a burning sensation at this moment, with a bit of astonishment on his face. Obviously, Anu's reaction was beyond his expectation. He acted decisively without any hesitation. If it were by Ruowei and other girls, they might give in half-heartedly, or they might refuse sternly, but they would never take action. Unfortunately, Anu is obviously different. This little silly dragon is different from Chen Beiyuan, the lucky heroines such as Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua who are reluctant to fight. She is really willing to fight. Occasionally, he pulls his hair, ears, gnaws his head, and bites everywhere. Bad. Yuan. Regarding the sound of Anu's milky milk, Chen Beiyuan showed a hint of helplessness on his face. Although there was some burning pain on his face, he was not angry at all. He was not out of breath yet when talking to a baby dragon that had been reborn for less than half a year. Chen Beiyuan shook his head secretly. To be honest, his feelings for Anu are extremely special. It can even be said that they are even more special and closer than Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yunhua, and Leng Ruobing. After all, he picked up the little silly dragon Anu from the blood dragon's secret realm and hatched it bit by bit. In addition, he absorbed part of the essence and blood of the blood-evil dragon emperor, which resulted in a certain blood connection between him and Anu, and a sense of closeness that was almost spiritual. Moreover, Anu has been following him and knows many of his secrets. The relationship between the two parties began to become closer and more complicated. Advertisement. In front of this little silly dragon, Chen Beiyuan can always relax and even feel like letting himself go. This was something he had never felt from Bai Ruowei and other women. Maybe he really regards Anu as his daughter. Suddenly, the sound of slurping suddenly stopped. Just when Chen Beiyuan was a little confused, a small head suddenly lowered from his head and faced him face to face, almost touching each other. A rich milky fragrance suddenly poured into his nose. Ba, ba. Anu's milky voice reached her ears. Mua. A pure milky fragrance approached, leaving a milky mark on her face. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. At this moment, a certain little silly dragon obviously realized what he had just done. Chen Beiyuan's steps paused suddenly, his face seemed dull for a moment, and his two pairs of eyes looked at each other closely at this moment. Anu snapped. Before he could react, the little head in front of him suddenly disappeared, and immediately his ears were pulled up, and the cheerful giggle of the little silly dragon could be heard in his ears. Silly Yuan. Deep in the forest of beasts. When Chen Beiyuan stepped into this place, what he saw were two majestic and lush towering sacred trees, leaning on each other, surrounded by the corpses of countless ferocious beasts, aliens, and humans. These two towering sacred trees are like two giants, containing terrifying vitality and giving people a feeling of being alive. Among them, a towering sacred tree grows green fruits that look like newborn babies, hanging in the air, with the breeze blowing, carrying the subtle cry of a baby, reaching the ears. Another towering sacred tree has blood-red fruits hanging on it. The fruits are covered with meridians similar to the human body, with starlight and a hint of Tao rhyme. As expected, the two heaven and earth spiritual fruits, Yingshou fruit and marrow cleansing fruit, are almost completed. Chen Beiyuan looked at the two vibrant towering sacred trees in front of him with a hint of emotion in his eyes. Even if he wasn't close, he could clearly sense the terrifying vitality contained in it. Advertisement. In the Void Secret Realm, these two sacred trees are also absolutely valuable treasures and one of the most terrifying opportunities. Infant Longevity Sacred Tree, Marrow Cleansing Sacred Tree. If you eat one of the Yingshou fruit produced by the former, you can get an extra year of lifespan out of thin air and extend your lifespan without any side effects. The Marrow Cleansing fruit produced by the latter is not weak at all in terms of magical powers. It can cleanse the marrow and change the mind, enhance the talent and understanding, and achieve the effect of reborn, defying the heavens and changing fate. The former prolongs life, the latter changes life. Even a practitioner with mediocre talent can defying the heavens and changing fate and walk his own path if he obtains the fruits of these two sacred trees. At a rough glance, the Yingshou sacred tree has no fewer than 500 fruits, which is almost equivalent to 500 years of lifespan. You know, even the 8th grade war emperor of human race only has a lifespan of 500 years. Once these divine objects are known to the top human race experts from the outside world, there will definitely be great turmoil. Even the 8th grade war emperor will be tempted by it and go crazy for it. For those big shots, who doesn't want to live a few more years, decades, centuries? Lifespan is something that money and power cannot buy. In comparison, the marrow-cleansing fruit, condensed by the marrow-cleansing sacred tree, is much less, only about half of the Yingshou fruit. However, this kind of magical fruit that refines talent and understanding is also an absolute treasure for cultivators. These two sacred trees are one of Chen Beiyuan's main goals when entering the Void Temple this time. In the future, it seems that we have to guard here. As the two sacred trees are gestated and the fruits begin to mature, they will definitely manifest strange phenomena and attract the covetousness of prodigy from all races. Since these two sacred trees were discovered by me, they are naturally destined to me, so naturally they cannot be taken away by others. Chen Beiyuan found a place around him and sat down cross-legged. Anu was lying on his back and fast asleep, hugging him tightly like an octopus, still holding the bottle in his mouth. Although the animal milk in the bottle had been sucked out and only air was left, she still sucked it a few times from time to satisfy her cravings. What a greedy person! Chen Beiyuan smiled hoarsely and spent some effort to take out the empty bottle from Anu's mouth. She immediately made a sound of dissatisfaction from the sleeping girl. She was not satisfied until a bottle filled with animal milk was stuffed into her mouth. Chirp, 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 and let out a slight sleepy murmur. Yuan, good. Finally, at the last moment, I finished writing. Accompanying Chen Beiyuan, he stayed in the deepest part of the 10,000 Beasts forest, waiting for the final stages of the two sacred tree fruits to gestate, without appearing outside again. This undoubtedly made many prodigy of all races secretly sigh in relief. I was afraid that if I met this evil god on the road, my head would be twisted directly. However, this also made some people who were looking for him anxious. Lord Aolai, it's not that we didn't work hard. It's just that Chen Beiyuan was too cunning and knew Lord Aolai's reputation, so he hid on purpose. Lord Aolai, Chen Beiyuan most likely heard that you were looking for him, so he hid and didn't dare to show his face. A powerful, ferocious beast with the blood of dragon race was kneeling on the ground in submission, trembling with fear in its eyes. Even though they were well-known beings among their respective ethnic groups in the outside world, they still had no power to resist when faced with the Longzi from Wanlong Island in front of them. The suppression from the bloodline puts them at an almost natural disadvantage when facing Aolai. Moreover, it's not that they didn't work hard, but they really couldn't find Chen Beiyuan's hiding place. This damn human being is so cunning. He actually hid after killing the Bloodbat Yaga. A bunch of trash. Aolai, who had ferocious dragon horns, looked at the many ferocious beasts crawling under his feet with cold eyes. The fiery red scales on his face seemed to glow red, and lava-like liquid flowed out, burning the air. The burning flames in a pair of bloodthirsty dragon eyes foreshadowed its anger at this moment. If you can't even find a human being, what's the use of all this waste? I can't even find anyone, so there's no use keeping you here. Boom! Terrifying lava emerged from Aolai's body surface and turned into a huge lava dragon head. With scorching heat, it devoured the prostrate beasts in front of him. Dragon race's cruelty and cold-bloodedness were vividly demonstrated by him at this moment. For Aolai, these mixed-blood dragon beasts in front of him were the lowest existences, and they were only worthy of his pure-blood dragon son as a dog. If you can't even handle the matter, then just kill him. Seeing Aolai being so ruthless and killing him, some of the angry hybrid dragon beasts who knew they would die finally couldn't bear it any longer. Aolai, you have gone too far in bullying the dragon. You are a cruel tyrant. I have been working hard these days without complaining and being driven by it. If I just can't find anyone, you will kill me? You have treated us as slaves from the beginning to the end. If the bloody dragon emperor is still here, how dare you? I curse you. Advertisement. Roar. The lava dragon roared resoundingly, resounding throughout the valley, and instantly swallowed up every giant dragon beast that roared unwillingly and dared to resist. Under the terrifying high temperature, even the tough flesh and bones of the ferocious beast were melted bit by bit, making it worse than death as it howled and screamed in pain. Humph! A bunch of despicable bastards still dare to mention that B asterisk asterisk. It's because that B asterisk asterisk gave you despicable bastards an illusion that you shouldn't have. You bastards, will only be assigned to pure-blooded dragons in this life. Race as a dog? Aoi snorted coldly. A cold look flashed across his handsome face covered with fiery red scales, and the lava flowing on his body became even hotter. In an instant, several huge dragon beasts that wanted to resist were wiped out on the spot and turned into charred ashes on the ground. This scene instantly frightened the courage of the other dragon beasts nearby and made them tremble. Fierce beasts are inherently focused on the strength of their bloodline. There are, after all, few examples of subordinates who dare to resist. Most of them are ignorant and resigned beings. Next, it's your turn. Aoi's cold eyes looked at the other trembling dragon beasts that did not dare to resist, with a hint of bloodthirsty murderous intent on his lips. The lava dragon head that had swallowed several huge dragon beasts also appeared behind him, eyeing the remaining followers eagerly. At this moment, a ferocious beast that looked like a jackal suddenly had an idea, as if it had thought of something, and shouted loudly. Wait, Lord Aoi, I have a way. I have a way to find Chen Beiyuan. The Donghua people have always been united. This has been confirmed before in the Temple of the Void. We can capture the rest of the Donghua people, take their lives, and force Chen Beiyuan to show up. The villain once memorized the scent of Donghua prodigy when he was in the Void Temple. This can be regarded as a breakthrough. Bloodsea Forest. Wearing a mysterious Taoist robe, with aged eyes and an ordinary face, Wang Daoxian suddenly felt an ominous premonition coming over him. There seemed to be quite a bit of movement in the jungles from all directions, as if there were beings that were attacking him. Not good. Wang Daoxian's pupil shrank, and he instantly felt the threat of death coming. It was obvious that among the visitors, there was someone who was invincible to him. The only ones with such strength are those at the top of the Void ranking. It was obvious that the visitor had bad intentions. Without any hesitation, the 6th-rank prodigy of the human race on the Void ranking turned around and ran away without hesitation. The next day, advertisement. The Void list hanging in the sky was refreshed again. In an instant, it attracted the attention of prodigy from all races. Void list. Record the number of Void tokens held by Void walkers, refreshed every 24 hours. First place, Chen Beiyuan, Human Race Donghua Empire, 305. Second place, Jiang Yunfan, Human Race Donghua Empire, 255. Third place, Aoi, Dragon Race Ferocious Beast, 201. Fourth place, Tushan Susu, Qingqiu Fox Clan Ferocious Beast, 199. Fifth place, Tina, Night Elf Alien, 187. Sixth place, Wang Daoxian, Human Race Donghua Empire, 166. Seventh place, Lion King Caesar, Human Race Bald Eagle Alliance, 148. Eighth place, Gar, Human Race Slavic Empire, 139. Ninth place, Bloody Bones, Bloody Torn Alien, 119. 10th place, Yumi Ito, Human Race Sakura Country, 105. Overnight, Chen Beiyuan topped the Void list. Prodigy from all races looked at the top spot hanging in the sky with mixed emotions, but there were not many surprises. Ever since Chen Beiyuan harvested Yaga, the 7th bloodbat on the Void ranking, those in the top 10 on the Void ranking have become wary and will run away if there is any sign of trouble. The difficulty of hunting it has skyrocketed. Want to replicate Chen Beiyuan's previous results? I'm afraid it will be difficult. There aren't that many fools these days. If you can't beat him, you still can't run. Deep in the forest of beasts, Chen Beiyuan, who was sitting cross-legged, didn't pay any attention to the number 1 in the void list in the sky. He closed his eyes tightly and practiced nurturing spirit carefully. Suddenly, his eyes trembled, and the 2 towering sacred trees behind him suddenly made violent movements and began to shine brightly, revealing strange phenomena. At the same time, a system prompt suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding, ding. Due to the strong intervention of the host, the strength of the 2 lucky heroines, Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua, began to exceed the current stage of the original work. Their own destiny has undergone drastic changes and began to move towards the unknown. The gears of their own destiny have also been partially reversed. Part of the fate of the 2 lucky heroines will be transferred to the host. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining luck from the luck heroines Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua and successfully activating the luck divine ability, life and death. Life and death depend on each other, Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yunhua. When the host encounters harm, the harm can be transferred to Bai Ruowei or Jiang Yunhua. When the host encounters a death crisis, the lives of Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yunhua, and others can be used to replace their death, and vice versa. Likewise, note, Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yunhua, and the fallen have no effect on the host, and their transferred luck will disappear. Is it this luck divine ability, depending on life and death again? Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed with an unexpected light, but there was no big surprise. When he had obtained the divine luck ability, dependence on life and death, from Leng Ruobing, the luck heroine, he guessed that the other luck heroines would also be able to obtain similar abilities. He had previously revealed secret realm opportunities to Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua to enhance their strength, so why didn't he have this idea? Now, he finally got the corresponding benefits. Dependence on life and death, this luck divine ability almost connects the blood bars of him and several luck heroines, which can transfer damage to each other and even replace lives. The luck divine ability of dependence on life and death may be the most suitable and most effective for Jiang Yunhua. Chen Beiyuan knew that Jiang Yunhua's fire phoenix body had the ability to be reborn from the ashes, and that he also had a natal feather left by the phoenix. Among all the luck heroines, Jiang Yunhua may not be the strongest, but she is definitely the one with the strongest ability to survive. Perhaps the luck divine ability, dependence on life and death, did not improve Chen Beiyuan's frontal fighting ability much, but it raised his hidden life-saving ability to a new level. Suddenly, Chen Beiyuan felt an inexplicable huge luck blessing him, and there seemed to be something on his right wrist. Under the influence of Heaven's Child Fortune Gazing Technique, Chen Beiyuan saw 3 tiny red strings suddenly appear on his right wrist. 2 are thicker and 1 is thinner. One end of these 3 red ropes is tied to his hand, and the other end continues in 3 different directions, tied to the bodies of the 3 lucky heroines respectively. The 2 thick ones are for the powerful Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua, and the thin one is for the weak Leng Ruobing. Is this the external manifestation of the luck divine ability, depending on life and death? It looks a bit like Yu Lao's red knot. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were dark, and there was a smile on his lips, as if he was thinking of something. However, he has other gains at this moment. Looking up, the 2 towering sacred trees in front of me began to show strange phenomena, and a huge spirit chi vortex began to appear in the sky, blooming with 5 colors of divine light. The rich essence of vegetation gradually spread in the air, spreading in all directions. Advertisement. The huge fruits hanging on the branches are becoming more and more dazzling and delicate. It's time to begin. Volcanic Canyon. Along with a clear phoenix cry, the entire volcano that gradually calmed down began to shake, and countless lava surged crazily, setting off terrifying waves of fire. Deep in the canyon, a majestic and noble figure bathed in the flaming lava slowly stood up, wearing a dazzling dark red phoenix robe. The fire phoenix patterns on it were lifelike, like a living creature, blooming with terrifying pressure. 6th grade Battle King High Level. The lava core is indeed a fire-based treasure. It took thousands of years to condense in the depths of the volcanic lava. The flame essence contained in it further enhances my fire phoenix bloodline. Jiang Yunhua's face showed some indescribable excitement. She probably didn't expect that her strength would improve so quickly during this trip to the Void's secret realm. Suddenly, she felt that something special had happened to her body. Jiang Yunhua looked at his right hand in surprise, with a look of confusion on his face. Unlike Leng Ruobing, the powerful Jiang Yunhua could vaguely detect the existence of the red rope. That smell is so familiar. Is it Beiyuan? Jiang Yunhua, who was still a little wary at first, suddenly showed T-like expression and instantly relaxed his vigilance. She knew very well that Beiyuan would not harm her. Suddenly, her expression changed. She felt a terrifying spirit chi fluctuation, and her eyes suddenly looked in the direction of the 10,000 Beasts forest. When a vision is revealed, something divine will appear. Black Beast Forest. Is this a red rope? Bai Ruowei's eyes glowed with divine light, and she looked at her right wrist with a bit of surprise, and she vaguely saw the existence of the red rope. The mythical beast Bai Zhe can understand the emotions of all things, communicate with ghosts and gods, and is also very sensitive to changes in its own luck. At this moment, she was obviously aware of the familiar aura on the other side. Advertisement. 1,000-mile marriage is tied by a thin thread. Could this be a sign of a lifetime marriage between me and Beiyuan? A blush appeared on Bai Ruowei's face, and a silly smile appeared on the corner of her mouth, as if she was caught in some kind of beautiful reverie. Suddenly, the spirit chi vortex revealed in the distance, and the five-color divine light covering the heaven and earth suddenly attracted her attention. The divine object is revealed? Wait, that seems to be the direction Beiyuan is in. Bai Ruowei looked at the direction of the red rope in her hand, and the smile on her face quickly disappeared. The smell is so familiar. It's Ingshou fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit. Tushan Su, who was dressed in a green shirt and had 3,000 blue hairs fluttering, frowned slightly and looked in the direction of the forest of 10,000 beasts. Such a pure scent of grass and trees makes you feel comfortable all over just by smelling it. It must be the arrival of some kind of magic that prolongs life. Jiang Yunfan, who was hunting the alien prodigy, suddenly changed. Without hesitation, he abandoned the hunted alien in front and rushed towards his destination as quickly as possible. A figure lurking in the dark, wearing a revealing ninja uniform, with a voluptuous figure and fair skin, suddenly raised his head and looked at the vision revealed in the distance. Immediately, he gave up on a certain towering alien below without hesitation. Such a sacred object must belong to the Ito family. The gods come, and the virtuous dwell there. Someone has obtained the 8th-grade divine weapon from the Void's secret realm before. The phenomenon this time is so terrifying, I'm afraid it will not be smaller than the 8th-grade divine weapon. Such a rich essence of plants and trees, could it be the ultimate treasure that prolongs life? In an instant, as the two sacred trees blossomed and bore fruit, the terrifying vision revealed instantly attracted the attention of countless prodigy of all races in the Void's secret realm. Countless figures began to rush towards the direction of 10,000 Beasts Forest. An unprecedented war is about to take place, deep in the Forest of Beasts. As the vision of two towering sacred trees was revealed, the nearest prodigy from various tribes headed towards the location of the godly objects at almost the fastest speed. Among these prodigy, there are human race, alien races, ferocious beasts. But unexpectedly, these prodigy from various races who were supposed to kill each other did not directly fight, but all maintained a certain tacit understanding. Before seeing the divine object that revealed the vision, no fool would work hard to take advantage of others. There are indeed fools these days, but they have been eliminated in the past few days. Most of those who have survived until now have nothing wrong with their brains. Among the figures, the most eye-catching one is undoubtedly a tall body with sharp thorns all over its body, a dorsal fin. Its skin is filled with disgusting mucus, a ferocious shark head, and its mouth is full of sharp teeth. A terrifying alien figure holding a trident. Number 15 on the Void list, Ghost Shark Glen. This is an extremely rare marine alien race. Among the alien races, there are many races, which can be roughly divided into three categories: land, sea, sky. Among them, the land aliens are the largest alien race, followed by the ocean, and the sky is the rarest. The Ghost Shark clan, to which Ghost Shark Glen belongs, is also a strong presence among the ocean aliens and can be ranked in the top 10. This can be seen from the fact that it is ranked 15th on the Void list. You must know that the true strength of the ocean aliens can only be exerted in the sea. If it is on land, it will undoubtedly be weakened a lot. But it is still able to enter the 15th place on the Void list even though it is on land, which shows how terrifying it is. After seeing Glenn the ghost shark appear, the prodigy of the human race suddenly exclaimed, "It's Ghost Shark Glenn, the 15th monster on the Void ranking." It is said that if it weren't for the limitations of the environment, its true strength would be enough to compete with the top 10 monsters on the Void ranking. Yes, it is said that Ito Yumi, who was ranked 10th on the Void ranking, had fought against Ghost Shark Glenn before, but it was because he could not break Ghost Shark Glenn's defense that the fight ended. More than that, I witnessed Ghost Shark Glenn being chased by Caesar, the 7th largest lion on the Void ranking. In the end, after Ghost Shark Glenn escaped into a huge lake, Caesar hesitated again and chose to give up the pursuit. Did not enter the water to chase? After the Ghost Shark Glenn enters the water, I am afraid that only the top few on the Void list will be able to get it. Advertisement. There are actually many prodigies from all races outside the top 10 on the Void ranking who are not weaker than the top 10. However, due to some special factors, they were not able to enter the top 10. Ghost Shark Glenn and Blood Demon Song Ji, Wei Wushuang, Madman Zhu. This monster is actually here. I'm afraid it will be troublesome now. Behind the domineering figure of Ghost Shark Glenn, many prodigy from human race countries around him had ugly expressions, and their eyes could not conceal their fear. However, many alien prodigy became excited and looked proud. Suddenly, someone sneered, "Haha, this is just an appetizer. The monsters at the top of the Void list haven't appeared yet." The top 10 on the Void list may still be a bit controversial, but the top 10 have absolute dominance. The Night Elf Princess Tina, the Qingqiu Mountain Fox Clan Sanus Tushan Su Su, the Dragon Son Ao Lai of Walong Island, the Crown Prince of Donghua Jiang Yunfan, the young master of the Qin family Chen Beiyuan. As soon as these words came out, everyone present instantly fell into silence. If there is still some controversy among the top 10 on the Void list, then the monsters in the top 5 on the Void list are almost like insurmountable mountains, pressing directly in front of everyone. These 5 people almost represent the strongest group of prodigy people from all races in the entire Void secret realm, and they have absolute dominance. In the past, there were not many people who did not believe in evil and wanted to test the quality of these 5 people, but the end was almost miserable. Soon, as the prodigy went deeper, the place where the vision was gradually revealed in front of them. The 2 ancient and wild trees, towering sacred trees that stood tall and contained terrifying vitality, as well as the plump and huge fruits exuding an alluring fragrance, also suddenly caught everyone's eyes. Is that the legendary Ingsho fruit? It's such a divine item that can prolong life. Wait a minute, the one next to me seems to be the marrow-cleansing fruit. It is a magical object that can refine talent and understanding. Even the dullest waste can turn into a peerless genius by swallowing enough marrow-cleansing fruit. One extends life, the other changes life. It's a match made in heaven. In an instant, all the prodigy who came over looked excited. At this moment, the prodigy from the alien race and the ferocious beast race are all focusing their attention on the marrow-cleansing fruit. These aliens are born with more lifespan than the human race, and they can still remain rational against the temptation of lifespan. Advertisement. In contrast, the defying the heavens and changing fate, the marrow-cleansing fruit, which refines talents and purifies blood vessels, is more appealing to them and is extremely tempting to them. 4 prodigy from various countries of human race, Ingsho fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit, are the treasures they need. But at this moment, people with eyesight noticed something was wrong. It seemed that a figure was sitting cross-legged in front of the 2 sacred trees, blocking everyone. Wait, there seems to be someone. Someone actually got there before me. Wait a minute, that person looks so familiar. Is it Chen Beiyuan? It's Chen Beiyuan who is #1 on the void ranking. Blood Sea Jungle. When a group of ferocious beasts chased them to a lake, Wang Daoxian was nowhere to be seen. Only a blood-stained void token was casually discarded in the grass. The leading jackal beast quickly stepped forward to pick up the blood-stained void token and handed it respectfully to Ao Lai, who was walking slowly behind him, holding a broken arm in his hand. Lord Ao Lai, his sin is cut off here. 6th on the void ranking. He is somewhat capable and can actually escape from this dragon. Ao Lai sneered. In his hand, he was holding a severed arm wearing a black Taoist robe, revealing the white bones. This severed arm was apparently ripped off from Wang Daoxian's body. From this, we can see what happened to the previous Wang Daoxian. Ao Lai glanced around in front of his eyes with a pair of violent dragon eyes, and immediately took the blood-stained void order from the jackal's hand. With such a short time difference, it is obviously impossible for Wang Daoxian to exit the void secret realm. He should still be nearby, just hiding, just when he was about to order the search to continue. At this time, the sudden appearance of divine light in the distance suddenly caught his attention. Lord Ao Lai, the vision has been revealed. I'm afraid a divine being is coming. I'm afraid Chen Beiyuan may also appear. Walk. For Ao Lai, Wang Daoxian, who lost his void order, lost his hand, and became disabled, obviously had little value. Perhaps capturing this person alive can be used to coerce Chen Beiyuan into showing up. But now that the divine object has appeared in the world, the prodigy of all races in the secret realm of the void have been alarmed, and the possibility of Chen Beiyuan going there is extremely high. In this case, Wang Daoxian's value was undoubtedly compressed to the extreme. After Ao Lai and others left, a ripple of Dao rhyme slowly appeared in the huge lake. Wearing a black Taoist robe stained with blood, his face was pale, his breath was sluggish, and his left sleeve was empty. Wang Daoxian, who was shrouded in the 5 elements 8 trigrams diagram case, emerged from the water. The slightly tired vicissitudes of life looked coldly at the direction in which Ao Lai and his party were leaving, without saying a word for a long time. Ao Lai from Wanlong Island? Very good. Wang will remember you. As the heir to the Wang family, Wang Daoxian practiced Taoism since he was a child and worshipped under the sect of Dao sect in a certain hidden world. Before Chen Beiyuan rose to power, his strength among the younger generation in the Donghua Empire could be ranked among the top 5, and he could even enter the ranks. The first 3 are unfathomable. This can be seen from the fact that he firmly occupied the 6th position on the void list after entering Secret Realm. As long as Ao Lai was alone, he wouldn't be so embarrassed. Even if he wanted to run away, he would be quite confident. However, this person had many lackeys under his command, and the treacherous jackal, dragon, and beast were good at chasing, making most of his escape techniques ineffective. In the end, he was forced to do one face-to-face battle, but he was brutally attacked and had his left arm wrenched off alive by Ao Lai, which damaged his strength and lost the void order. Once the void order was lost, his efforts in the past few days were in vain. His 6th position on the void ranking was also gone, and he was married to others. Without the void order, I'm afraid I won't be able to leave the void secret realm. It seems I have to get one. Perhaps the arrival of the divine object is an opportunity. Not only can we win a void token, but we can also try to take revenge. Wang Dao first looked at the direction in which Ao Lai and others were leaving, gritted his teeth, and followed closely, ready to wait for an opportunity. Perhaps now it would be best for him to find an unlucky guy, seize his void token, choose to exit Secret Realm, and leave directly. But if he could endure such a big loss, he wouldn't let Wang Dao take the lead. Deep in the forest of beasts. As time went by, myriad races prodigy came one after another from all directions. Advertisement. Zhang Yunfan, Ao Lai, Susutina Tushan, Lion King Caesar, Ice Bear Gao, Bloody Torn Blood Bones, Wei Wushuang, Crazy Zhu. Almost all the famous strong men from all races are rushing towards this direction. Even after Bai Ruowei noticed Chen Beiyuan's traces, she rushed here without hesitation. Before leaving, she gave the rest of the wine to the boiling bear, the little black tiger, the two-headed turtle, and the blue leopard cat as compensation for leading the way these past few days. Although the four licking dogs were reluctant to leave the goddess, in the end they could only bid farewell with tears. On the way there, Bai Ruowei naturally met Jiang Yunhua, who was coming. For some purpose, the two women did not confront each other, but rushed together like a pair of good sisters. That's Ingshou fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit. It's such a divine thing. What's going on? How come all these guys got together and didn't do anything? They're all so honest. When the two women rushed to the depths of the 10,000 Beasts forest, they were shocked by the plump and huge fruits produced on the two terrifying sacred trees. At a rough glance, the number of Ingshou fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit combined might be 700 to 800. With such a terrifying quantity, its value is probably difficult to estimate. Even those famous big shots will be crazy about it. However, at this moment, they also noticed the strange scene in front of them. I saw that prodigy from all races exuding a terrifying aura gathered together at this moment, divided into groups, and stopped 100 meters away from the two towering sacred trees, with no intention of going any further. Among these prodigy, there are not only alien races, ferocious beasts, but also human race. Bai Ruowei even saw Yi Chun, Madman Zhu, and Wei Wuxuang gathered together. The entire scene fell into almost deathly silence and inexplicable depression. What happened? Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua looked surprised, and they were obviously confused by this. However, when they followed the fearful gazes of the prodigy from all races and looked ahead, they suddenly saw a familiar figure and an unbelievable scene, and they froze on the spot. I saw a figure in black robes sitting cross-legged in front of two towering sacred trees, with a handsome face, noble temperament, and exuding a magical aura. He closed his eyes, nurturing spirit. In his arms, there was a little girl wearing a shawl and a red robe, with a bun in her hair, holding a milk bottle in her mouth, hugging him like an octopus, and sleeping soundly. Advertisement. Number 1 on the void list, Chen Beiyuan. If it is just the top of the void list, it may not be able to suppress the many prodigy of all races present. But right next to these two figures, one large and one small, a horrifying Beijing temple made up of bloody heads was being built. This Beijing has alien races, ferocious beasts, and human race. 13th on the void list, Blood Demon Cullen. Number 15 on the void list, Ghost Shark Glen. Number 16 on the void list, Neko Fukada. Number 17 on the void list, Soul-Eating Monster. 19th on the void list, Evil Demonic Shadow. Number 20 on the void list, Succubus Witch. The prodigy heads that were very high on the void ranking were all piled up together at this moment. Among them, there are many terrifying entities such as Blood Demon Cullen, Ghost Shark Glen, Fukada Neko, and soul-eating monsters who are qualified to compete for the top 10 in the void ranking. However, at this moment, their heads were screwed off and they were piled together randomly, forming an evil and terrifying Beijing view. Under the Beijing view, a profound death line is being drawn at this moment, with several big characters carved on it. Those who cross this line will die. The initiator of all this was naturally Chen Beiyuan, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground with his eyes closed, nurturing spirit. Just before Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua arrived, someone who was not afraid of death stepped forward to try it. Then, in full view of everyone, Chen Beiyuan closed his eyes, twisted his head with magic thoughts, and threw it away. Go aside. Such unscrupulous actions by Chen Beiyuan undoubtedly aroused public outrage. Then, with this anger, dozens more heads appeared on the ground beside them, piled together. These days, there are still very few people who are not afraid of death, have no brains, and have funny brains. When seeing dozens of top prodigy heads piled together, the prodigy of all races who came later apparently became a lot more calm. As time went by, more and more prodigy from all races came. The atmosphere at the scene became more and more depressing and solemn. At a glance, the entire depths of the 10,000 Beasts forest are almost a large area of darkness, with hundreds of prodigy from all races gathered together. especially when the top 10 and half of the heavyweights on the void list are all gathered together. The atmosphere deep inside the 10,000 Beasts forest was almost solidifying into ice. At this moment, both pairs of greedy eyes were focused on the huge and plump fruits that were gradually maturing on the two towering sacred trees. They exuded a special and fragrant fruit, and they wanted to go directly to snatch them all. However, when their eyes saw the domineering figure in front of the two towering sacred trees and the Jingguan built like a hill next to them, they showed fear. If Chen Beiyuan hadn't stood in front and killed a group of tough guys, which shocked all the prodigy present, they wouldn't be as honest as they are now. Among the people present, not only the alien races, ferocious beasts, but also the prodigy from various human race countries were very dissatisfied with Chen Beiyuan. Because Chen Beiyuan not only aimed the knife at the alien beasts, but also at the human race. Neko Fukada from Sakura Kingdom, Chris from Sunfall Empire, Bruce from Bald Eagle Alliance. Due to the moment of excitement, these few people accidentally got closer, wanting to observe the growth of the fruits of the two towering sacred trees at close range, and then get in close contact with them. Then, their heads were twisted and they were piled together. At this moment, even the small groups in the Donghua Empire have different opinions on Chen Beiyuan. What on earth is Chen Beiyuan going to do? With so many people present, how can he stop him? No matter how strong he is it possible that he can still withstand all the prodigy of all races in the secret realm of the void? Now, the reason why there is no problem is mainly because the fruits of the two sacred trees have not been completely gestated. In addition, no one wants to be the leader and make wedding clothes for the people behind. This is why the current stalemate can be maintained. Situation. Nowadays, the best way is to unite the prodigies of all human race countries and form a united front to repel the aliens and ferocious beasts first, and then divide the profits internally. Is it possible that he still wants to monopolize the two sacred trees? The Chun family is still so domineering. Yi Chen's face was uncertain. His eyes scanned the surroundings, and he said in a somewhat unkind tone, "Interest has moved people's hearts since ancient times. The value contained in the fruits of the two towering sacred trees is probably even more terrifying than the 8th grade divine weapons. Even all the treasures that have been circulated in the secret realm of the void cannot compare to the value of these two sacred tree fruits. Especially those Ingsho fruits are enough to make those old monsters, whose lifespan is about to expire, crazy. In this case, who wouldn't want a piece of the action?" Whenever Chen Beiyuan revealed some cooperative attitude, Yi Chen would never behave like this. He was definitely Chen Beiyuan's most loyal supporter and would stand on the united front without hesitation. But Chen Beiyuan made it clear that he wanted to take it all for himself. Advertisement. Yi Chen couldn't hold himself any longer for a moment. "Can you eat these two fruits of the sacred tree? Don't be afraid to push yourself to death. Whenever you take out half of it, I will be the first to support you." Facing Yi Chen's complaints, Wei Wushuang, Zhu Kuaishou, Qin Shaoxi, and others all remained silent, but they didn't have this thought in their hearts. When it comes to interests, people's hearts are a little unreliable. Even Jiang Yunfan, who had shown a friendly attitude towards Chen Beiyuan before, looked indifferent at the moment, looking dimly at the two towering sacred trees in front of him, wondering what he was thinking. Beiyuan is still young after all. Some things can't be figured out at the moment. He will understand after he experiences some suffering. The power of an individual is always inferior to that of the collective. You won't get far if you stand alone. When necessary, you must learn to live in harmony with others," Jiang Yunfan said calmly. Seeing Jiang Yunfan vaguely showing dissatisfaction with Chen Beiyuan, a hint of joy appeared on Yi Chen's face, getting ready to add fuel to the fire. But at this moment, there was a sudden commotion ahead. When his gaze looked over, it instantly became ugly, and his fists were clenched tightly. Even Jiang Yunfan frowned and looked a little embarrassed. I saw two extremely gorgeous and beautiful figures, ignoring the surprised looks of the people around them, and walked straight towards Chen Beiyuan. Bai Ruowei and Zhang Yunhua naturally knew how dangerous Chen Beiyuan's current position was. Chen Beiyuan's behavior at this moment was almost in opposition to the prodigy of all races present. Under such circumstances, any sign of involvement would arouse the hostility of countless prodigy from all races present. But they still walked out without hesitation. It was impossible for them to watch Chen Beiyuan bear such great pressure alone. It is different from the other brainless heroines in other brainless novels who have no strength but still want to hinder her. Bai Ruowei and Zhang Yunhua are undoubtedly powerful and lucky heroines. The strength of the two people during this period has reached the point of being completely transformed. Even the top 5 monsters on the Void list are capable of fighting. They are confident that they can help Beiyuan and withstand some of the pressure. Beiyuan. Advertisement. Bai Ruowei and Zhang Yunhua went straight across the death line and came to Chen Beiyuan, looking at the beloved man in front of them with complex eyes. And Anu, who was sleeping soundly in his arms. Coming. Chen Beiyuan slowly opened his eyes as deep as the night and looked at the two people in front of him, but there was no big surprise. With the characters of Bai Ruowei and Zhang Yunhua, even if he is the enemy of the whole world, they will silently stand behind him and support him. What's more, today's small scenes. Yes. Perhaps in the eyes of others, he was almost in a dangerous situation of ambushing from all sides at this moment, but in his eyes, it was undoubtedly a small scene. Just when he was about to continue speaking, Anu, who was sleeping soundly in his arms, suddenly spat out the empty milk bottle, thrust his little head into Chen Beiyuan's arms, opened his mouth and bit randomly, and murmured in his sleep, "Ba, ba, nai, nai. Daddy." Bai Ruowei and Zhang Yunhua's faces were slightly stiff, although they had roughly guessed Anu's pet identity at this moment. But when I heard Anu calling Beiyuan Daddy, I almost couldn't hold my breath. There is always a feeling that I am being cheated by outsiders. Naughty. Snapped. With a calm expression, Chen Beiyuan gave Anu, the silly dragon who was pretending to sleep, a hard slap on the buttocks. Deliberately. It's definitely intentional. I've never seen you so well behaved before. Now, do you know it's called Daba? If you keep pretending to sleep, there will be no Nana anymore. Bad. Yuan. Chen Beiyuan ignored the little silly dragon that woke up with anger in his arms. He picked it up and put it aside, then strode forward. He ignored the strange scene of 2 big and 1 small eyes staring at each other behind him, without even turning his head. He replied, "It's almost time. It's time to clear the place. In a moment, the 3 of you will be responsible for keeping an eye on the 2 sacred trees. If there are any fish that slip through the net from my side, they will be killed directly. No one will be spared." For Chen Beiyuan, why should he share what he can keep for himself? When his fist is not big enough and he needs help, it is understandable to share some of the benefits and win over allies. When his fist is big enough to overthrow the whole audience, it is called brainless to share the benefits and win over a group of waste who are dragging his feet. Chen Beiyuan's eyes are dark, and he looks around the whole audience. He takes a step forward, and suddenly a terrifying demonic energy bursts out, covering the sky and the earth, and instantly suppresses the strange phenomenon of the sacred tree behind him to within 3 feet. The cold voice enveloped the whole audience, and the words were full of absolute tyranny. "Now, start clearing the field. If you don't leave within 10 breaths, then don't leave. I have a lot of use for your brains, just in time to build a jingguan. 1 jingguan can't satisfy me. If possible, I hope to build 10 today." His eyes swept the whole audience and seemed to pause on Jiang Yunfan and others. Of course, Donghua people can be an exception. As long as Jiang Yunfan and others don't get involved, Chen Beiyuan won't be crazy enough to kill Donghua compatriots. He still has a bottom line on this point. He is not like some villains in novels who go crazy and kill people everywhere, like a killing machine. He kills for the purpose and the means to make some people who only know how to make noise and complain completely quiet down and listen to him calmly. As for whether it will offend people, if you are cautious about this and that when doing things, you might as well die. You still offend people? Why aren't you afraid of offending me? I practice Demon Tao, which is domineering, arbitrary, and unrestrained. Dead man, if I offend you, I offend you. What? You don't support the weapon. Arrogant. Instantly, the prodigy of various races present were also angered by Chen Beiyuan's domineering and arrogance. Chen Beiyuan clearly didn't regard the prodigy of all races present, except the Donghua people, as human beings, as beasts. Even the prodigy of the Donghua Empire headed by Jiang Yunfan had a drastic change of expression at this moment and looked at Chen Beiyuan as if he was looking at a madman. This is no longer a question of arrogance. This is crazy. Is he crazy? Yi Chen's face was pale, and his eyes were full of shock and anger. Whether Chen Beiyuan lived or died had nothing to do with him. Advertisement. But he was afraid that his goddess Bai Ruowei would be dragged into the water by Chen Beiyuan, a madman. At this moment, even Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua were frightened by Chen Beiyuan's almost crazy behavior. However, due to their trust in Beiyuan, the two women quickly suppressed their astonishment and stood behind Chen Beiyuan without hesitation, stating their position. Arrogant. Do you really think you can look down on everyone just because you are the first on the void list? All the prodigy present here can drown you with a mouthful of spit from each person. He. I didn't expect that the number one on the void list would be a lunatic. The prodigy of all races who reacted to the situation looked at Chen Beiyuan with a cold look in an instant, and the overwhelming murderous intent swept towards him instantly. However, Chen Beiyuan turned a blind eye and stood with his hands behind his back, as if he didn't take everyone present seriously. At this moment, a roar of a vast dragon suddenly rang out, interrupting everyone's curses. It's Aolai, the third on the void list. Olai, who was wearing hot dragon scales, dragon horns on his head, hot lava flowing on his body, emitting terrifying high temperature, and wearing a flaming battle robe, flew from the front, stopped in midair, and appeared in everyone's sight. Behind him, there was a group of huge dragon beasts following him, emitting a terrifying aura and with strange appearances. Aolai, who looked arrogant, enjoyed the feeling of being the center of attention. He looked down at the handsome figure in black clothes below with fluttering black clothes, and a ferocious look appeared on his face. Those erect dragon eyes seemed to be sizing up their prey, full of a sense of superiority, and a cold and bloodthirsty voice came out of their mouth. Chen Beiyuan, the top one in the void? It's easy for you to give me a meal. Hand over your void order and then cut off your arms. I can take the exam? So much nonsense. A very close voice interrupted Aolai's words. Aolai's pupils shrank, and his arrogant face changed drastically, as if he was in disbelief. Chen Beiyuan shouldn't be on the ground. But the source of this sound was from the top of his head. Aolai suddenly looked up and saw a size 42 shoe getting closer and closer to his sight, stepping hard on his face. Boom! Like a falling star. The ground suddenly shook violently, and dust covered the sky. In the eyes of a pair of disbelieving eyes, Chen Beiyuan was dressed in black, with a calm face, standing with his hands behind his back, as if he had not moved from beginning to end. But under his feet, there was a twisted and ferocious dragon face. The huge dragon body is embedded deeply in the pit. Advertisement. This is surprisingly Aolai, who is third on the void ranking. This is impossible? An alien prodigy suddenly exclaimed, his face full of disbelief. Wanlong Island Longzi, who had just appeared arrogantly, and Aolai, who was third on the void ranking, were stepped on in the face and to the ground in an instant. This is almost a crushing. This scene shocked all the prodigy present, and it was almost unspeakable. Everything happened so fast, almost in a blink of an eye. There are even some people who have not yet realized what is going on. However, Chen Beiyuan's cold voice did break the calm next. The time for 10 breaths has arrived. Since you don't want to leave, then don't leave at all. Chen Beiyuan said to himself as if he was stepping on an ant. This time, the prodigy of all races present looked at Aolai, who was stepped on the ground by Chen Beiyuan. No one felt arrogant and ridiculous anymore, but felt a bone-eroding chill. Roar! The ground suddenly exploded. A huge dragon claw burning with terrifying flames suddenly struck Chen Beiyuan, instantly creating a huge, deep hole in the entire ground. A giant crimson dragon nearly 30 feet tall suddenly appeared in front of everyone. The dazzling crimson dragon scales on its body shone like flames. It let out a furious roar, and the terrifying dragon power swept out instantly, making countless ferocious beasts feel. A tremor came from the blood. This is clearly Ao Lai who revealed his true form. A red flame dragon, with pure blood. Despicable human being, I'm going to kill you. Ao Lai's eyes were full of ferocity as he revealed his true form, as if he was completely angered. Do you think that the majestic Longzi of Wanlong Island was trampled under the soles of a humble human being in full view of the public? How could he, who had always been proud, endure this? This human being must die. However, at the next moment, Ao Lai's almost crazy giant dragon face seemed to flash a hint of surprise and disbelief, and the red claws that penetrated the ground were actually lifted up little by little. In the midst of countless incredulous eyes, a figure with evil dragon patterns on his face, sharp dragon horns growing out of his head, a majestic and evil face, tall and strong, exuding a terrifying evil aura suddenly came into view. This is Chen Beiyuan, who used the blood dragon transformation. What was even more shocking was that he actually raised the red flame dragon claw as huge as a hill with just one finger. Too weak.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.